The bell struck 12. Scrooge looked about him for the ghost and saw it not. He beheld instead a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, coming like a mist along the ground towards him. A deep black garment concealed its head, face, form, and left nothing visible save one outreached hand.
The phantom slowly, gravely, silently approached. Scrooge bent down upon his knee, for in the very air through which this spirit moved, it seemed to scatter gloom and mystery. Its mysterious presence filled him with a solemn dread. He knew no more, for the spirit neither spoke nor moved.
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are here to show me shadows of things that have not yet happened, but will happen. Is that so, Spirit? Will you not speak to me? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen. But as I know your purpose here is to do me good, I am prepared to bear your company and to do it with a thankful heart. Lead on, Spirit.
They entered poor Bob Cratchit's house and found the mother and the children seated round the fire. Quiet, very quiet. The noisy little Cratchits were as still as statues in one corner and sat looking up at Martha, who had a book before her. Mrs. Cratchit was engaged in sewing.
And he took a child and set him in the midst of them. Shall I stop, Mother?
The color hurts my eyes. It makes them weak by candlelight. And I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for all the world. It must be near his time.
I think he has walked a little slower than he used these few last evenings, Mother.
I've known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed. He was very light to carry, and his father loved him so. That was no trouble. And, oh, there's your father at the door.
Hello, my dears. I'm sorry to be late. I went there today. It would have done you good to have seen how green a place it is. I promised him that I would walk there every Sunday, my little child. I'm sure that we shall none of us forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? All this first parting that there was among us. And when we recollect how patient and how mild he was, though he was but a little child, we shall not quarrel easily among ourselves.
The phantom moved away. Scrooge followed in its shadow. The city seemed to spring about them and encompass them.
They stood in the heart of the exchange. The spirit stopped beside one little knot of businessmen.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
I thought he'd never die. What's he done with his money?
Well, left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know. It's likely to be a cheap funeral. I don't know anybody to go to it.
I don't mind going if lunch is provided, but I must be fed.
I know those men. I do business with them. Whom do they speak of? Why do you show me this?
There was no reply. The bony finger pointed again, and Scrooge found himself in an obscure part of town, a place of ill repute.
The ways were foul and narrow, and the whole place reeked of crime, filth, and misery. In this den of infamous resort was a low-browed beetling shop. A gray-haired rascal covered in miscellaneous tatters sat among the mountains of unseemly rags.
Look here, old Joe, here's a chance if we haven't all three met here without meaning it. The charwoman, the laundress, and the undertaker.
You couldn't have met in a better place. Come into the parlor. Stop till I shut the door of the shop. We're all suitable to our calling. We're all well matched. Come into the parlor.
Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
Why, then don't stand staring as if you was afraid, woman. We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed.
Very well, then, that's enough. Who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? Wicked old Screw. If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying gasping out his last there alone by himself.
It's the truest word that it was ever spoke. It's a judgment on him.
Open that bundle, Joe. I'm not afraid to be first. We knew pretty well we was helping ourselves before we met here. I believe it's no sin. Open the bundle, Joe.
I'll go first, Joe.
Seal ring, pencil case, pair of sleeve buttons, brooch. Here's your account, and I wouldn't give another sixpence if I was to be boiled for not doing it. Who's next?
I'll be next.
Sheets, towels, 2 shirts, 2 teaspoons, silver, 1 pair sugar tongs, 2 pair boots. Here's your tally. I always give too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine, and that's the way I ruin myself.
Now undo my bundle, Joe.
What do you call this? Bed curtains?
Aye, bed curtains.
You don't mean to say you took 'em down, rings and all, with him lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not?
You were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
Well, I shan't hold back my hand for the sake of such a man as he was. I promise you, Joe. Don't drop oil upon those blankets now.
His blankets?
Whose else's do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without 'em, I dare say.
He didn't die of anything catching.
I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter about him for such things if he did. You may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it. It's the best one he had. I'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
Wasted it?
Buried him in it. But I took it off again, as if calico ain't good enough for such a purpose. He couldn't have looked uglier than he did in that one.
That's an end of it then. He frightened everyone away from him when he was alive to profit us when he's dead.
Is there not man, woman, or child to say a kind word for this wretched creature? Who is it they speak of?
The phantom pointed forward until they reached the iron gate of a churchyard. Walled in by houses, overrun by grass and weeds, choked up with too much burying, a worthy place. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one.
Before I draw nearer to that stone at which you point, answer me one thing. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or the shadows of things that may be? Only men's courses may foreshadow certain ends, but if the courses be altered, surely the ends will change. Say it is so with what you show me.
The spirit was immovable as ever. Scrooge crept toward it, trembling as he went, and following the pointing finger, read upon the stone of the neglected grave his own name. Ebenezer Scrooge.
No, Spirit. No. Oh, Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been. Oh, Spirit, hear me. Why show me this if I am past all old? Tell me that I may yet change these shadows by an altered life. Tell me I may yet sponge away the writing on this stone.
Scrooge held up his hands in supplication and saw an alteration in the phantom's hood and dress. It shrunk, collapsed, and dwindled down into a bedpost.
My bed. My room. The bed curtains. They are not torn down. They are here. I am here. The shadows of things that will be may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will be. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirit of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven in Christmas time be praised. I say it on my knees, oh Jacob, on my knees. There's the corner where the ghost of Christmas present sat. Oh, there's the window where I saw the wandering spirits. It's all true. It's all right. It all happened. Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know anything. Well, I'm as light as a feather. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Merry Christmas, everybody. And a happy new year. Well, I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been amongst the spirits. I don't know anything at all. You know what? I don't care. I'm rather a baby. I'd rather be a baby.
Scrooge ran to the window to take in the glory of the day and spotted a boy passing in the street.
Hello! What's today, my fine fellow?
Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits did it all in one night. Well, they can do anything they like. Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one?
I should hope I did.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? No, not the little one, the big one.
What, the one as big as me?
Oh, what a delightful boy. A pleasure to talk to. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there right now.
Go and buy it, and tell him to bring it here. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown. Oh, I'll send it to Bob Cratchit. He won't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim.
Shaving was a bit of a task, trembling as he was, but if he'd cut off the end of his nose, he would have put a piece of sticking plaster over it and been quite satisfied. He dressed in all his best and at last got out into the streets.
He had not gone far when, coming on towards him, he beheld the portly gentleman who had walked into his counting house the day before. He went right up to them and wished them a Merry Christmas, to their great surprise.
Yes, it is I, Scrooge. That is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Will you allow me to ask your pardon? And will you do me the favor of accepting a donation? A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor? I am much obliged to you. Don't say anything. Just come and see me. Will you come and see me? Thank you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Scrooge went to church and walked about the streets and watched people hurrying to and fro and patted children on the head. Everything yielded him pleasure. In the afternoon, he turned his steps toward his nephew's house.
He passed the door a dozen times before he had the courage to go up and knock. Fred called out, "Who is it?" Scrooge took a big breath, announced himself, and asked to be let in.
Let him in? It is a mercy Fred didn't shake his arm off. He was at home in 5 minutes. Wonderful party, wonderful games, wonderful happiness.
But Scrooge was early at the office the next morning. If he could only be there first to catch Bob Cratchit coming late, that was the thing he had set his heart upon.
And he did it. The clerk was full 18 minutes and a half behind his time.
Hello. What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
Yes, you are. I think you are. Step this way, sir, if you please.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'm sure you were. I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, you leave me no recourse but to, raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob. Oh, merrier Christmas than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and assist your struggling family. We'll discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a bowl of Christmas punch. Make up the fires and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more.
And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew.
Or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world.
And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge.
May that truly be said of us, of all of us.
And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin.
Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So I'm going to work from what I can see. So I'm going to start with Ben Gorman. Give us a wave. Ben Gorman, and he was Old Joe, and one of the businessmen. Yes. And then we have our two narrators, Mr. and Mrs. Dickens, also known as Michael and Candace Gallagher. And Jill Trenholm, who gave us a fabulous Deck the Halls. And we have Steve Sadner, all the way from Michigan, who gave us Oh Come All Ye Faithful. And also music underneath at the beginning with his fingers playing on the keyboard. And then we have Tara Shulman, who was the Ghost of Christmas Present, and Steve, who was one of the businessmen. Thank you, Steve. And then we have Max, who wore several hats. He was Mr. Fred, Turkey Boy, and one of the portly gentlemen. Yes, thank you. And then we have Mr. Cooper, and we have no idea what role he played. We have Mr. Cooper. Thank you so much for being our Scrooge. Beautiful to have you here. And then we have Kathy Ransom, who was Mrs. Fred and Martha Cratchit. And we have Ashley, who was Peter Cratchit and Belle. Ian Patterson, who was Bob Cratchit, a portly gentleman, and also our editor extraordinaire, and he popped out quite often doing music. So thank you very much. And then we have Mike Peach, who you might recognize also as Marley, except that he wasn't wearing a hat. Thank you, Mike. Lovely to have you. And then in the corner, at least on my screen, we have Maya, who has just arrived. Maya, can you give us a wave? And I think Maya's brother is there too. We have the two little Rodriguez, Jeannie Carroll's beautiful grandchildren. Thank you, Maya. And she sang for us. And then we have Jeannie Carroll, who gave us music and also created wonderful PR clips for us and is the proud grandmother of Ms. Maya. And then we have this Maya, who's our beautiful sweetie singer who joined us to sing. Thank you, Ms. Maya. And we have Lisa, who was Mrs. Dilber. And what a fabulous Mrs. Dilber she was. And unfortunately, not on screen, we have Joan Westmoreland, who was our Christmas past. And we're going to put her picture in for you in a little bit. And we have Andrea Ferraz up there in Portuguese, Silent Night. Thank you. But basically, I want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you to our community that creates. Thank you to our community that attends. And please support the arts wherever you are. We will be back next year. And blessings for this holiday time of year, however you celebrate it. Be in gratitude, be in hope, be in joy. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next year. So, again, and I really, I really do mean this. I'm going to get all sort of choked up in a minute. I really think that what we're doing, the fact that we are wading through this, I mean, it does make me, it's really important that we do this, Sure. It's really important that we, because this is live theater. This is what we're doing, So just thank you, being present and being here. And that took me by surprise. Okay, so I'm going to do the waving.
I would just like to say on behalf of the Red Earth Theatre cast and production team, a really special thank you to you, Kate. It's wonderful working with you. There are so many people in the community who appreciate what it is that you do and what it is that you do for them. And it's a privilege for me to work with you, and all of the cast I know feel the same way. And yes, can't wait for the next production, and enjoy your rest after this of a day or so.
My name is Douglas Wyatt. I'm founder and CEO of Sovereign Laboratories. We are the specialist in colostrum, and colostrum LD, and LD products, liposomal delivery products. We are here today to tell you that we are sponsoring Red Earth Theater's production of A Christmas Carol. A reminder of love and community and sharing that we feel is incredibly important to our community. If you're more interested in finding about colostrum, nature's most important immune substance, you can find that information at sovereignlaboratories.com. You can also find our products in our beautiful gallery, the Vibrant Life Gallery, at 65 Coffee Pot Lane in Sedona, Arizona. And if you'd like to learn more information about the science and the medical information related to colostrum and our products, you can visit us at thevibrantlifeinstitute.org. We thank you very much, and all of those at Red Earth Theater, for the opportunity to present A Christmas Carol.